OK, Zoe, it's my turn to do a Thai dish, and I'm going to do a noodle chicken stir-fry or chicken noodle stir-fry, Thai style, whatever you want to call it. But what I've got is some noodles. Now, normally... when
Your kids must find you so funny.
No, they're just dad jokes. Dad jokes aren't funny. Now, what I've got here is some noodles. These are Hokkien noodles, and you can see they're quite firm like this. Now, normally you'd want to put them into a pot of boiling water, but I cook these just like rice noodles. So what I do is I get some water straight from the kettle or a pot that I've got here and pour it over the top. Just be careful, boiling water is dangerous and steam, so it's probably not a kiddie thing to do or to be done with adult supervision at all times.
No, kids, do not go anywhere near this.
There we go. Now, what I'll do is I pour the noodles on there, let it sit for about 3 minutes. I'm going to put it in front of us there, and you've got a fork or some tongs. Just sort of break it apart in a few minutes. So well, I'll just pop that in.
And the thing with those noodles, they are partially cooked, obviously, so it's really easy.
Ready to go. Now, what I've got here is some mushrooms, some shiitake mushrooms, some enoki mushrooms, and these beautiful little...
These are noodles.
They're great. They're almost noodles on themselves, aren't they? If you can cut them up sort of fairly, probably about an inch, that's it, perfectly. And what I'll do is I'll get this this onion here, and I'll take the core out of it and slice it nice and thin, all the way around here like this. And this is all sort of the basis of the stir fry.
Lovely.
There we go. That'll get the flavour into it. Now, always get rid of this core. I never have the core into it because if you keep the core on it, the onion stays together, and I want it to actually come apart.
That was one of the things at Cordon Bleu cooking school, the chopping of the onions. Oh, I had to do that a lot.
There are so many different ways of chopping onions, and in the kitchen, my kitchen anyway, it's sort of a punishment. If you've been a naughty boy, which was usually my job, you'd be forced down the back there to peel and chop a bag of onions. Now, red chilli there, I'm only going to use one of them. You could use the hot Thai chilies if you want, but, you know, we try and have it nice and mild.
Yeah, well, you want to suit all palates.
There we go. So what I will do is keep the actual seeds in there, and I'll keep it in nice big pieces. I like the red going all the way through it, and, you know, if you do like it fiery and hot, you can always grab some of the red stuff and put it in there. Then my pan, I can see the onions have gone into my eyes and started to slow me down a little bit. I'll turn my pan up so it's nice and hot. Well, just a little bit. So 3 eggs into there, and then put a little bit of fish sauce in there, some soy sauce in there, and a little bit of the oyster sauce into the eggs and whisk it up. Now, what I'll do is I'll put my fry pan on, a nice big splush of extra virgin olive oil. Now, if you're cooking Thai food, you'd probably use peanut oil or cottonseed or another type of oil, but extra virgin olive oil is delicious, and it will hold up to the Thai flavours.
And coconut oil, I think, is a good alternative.
There we go.
I think forget the cottonseed, forget the canola. I don't think they're healthy.
So that's nice and hot. You can see that's coming along nicely. That'll brown up around the edges. Now, you can imagine me using a big, heavy wok. I could do the same sort of thing. But a good fry pan on a good amount of gas as well does the same thing.
And that's the key thing also. I mean, most people think you'd have a wok to do the stir-fry. Don't worry about it, you know. Stir-fries are such great midweek meals.
Exactly. Now, what I'll do is I'll grab some of these mushrooms now and pop some of these in. I'll add all the mushrooms in here like this.
Yeah,
the thing you'll find when you add the mushrooms, they will soak up some of the oil because they're like sort of sponges. I'll just put a little splash of olive oil into it, or a little bit more butter sometimes, or maybe even some... there we go. Or maybe even some dripping, which is one of my favourite things.
My grandma used to cook with dripping. Now, what would you like me to do with the snow peas?
With the snow peas, I think we should keep the shape nice. We'll just put a slice them like that so we've got those nice little points on them. Now, take your time with them because you're going so fast, I have to rush to keep up.
There's still lots for me to do. I've got the noodles, the herbs...
Oh, there is. Now, what I've got here is a lovely corn-fed chicken breast. You can tell it's corn-fed by the colour of the skin. I love the flavour of it, and you can see this is a nice plump breast, so this will be delicious. Now, what I'll do is I'll just slice it nice and thin like this, all the way through, and you can tell by the colour of the flesh, it looks great. And it is
colour, doesn't it?
It is a delicious thing to eat, and those corn, you can just see, I could probably see you around the farm, you know, with the corn, tossing corn and grain out and feeding them up, feeding up all the little chickens.
That is one of my dreams, is to have my own chickens one day. Nothing better, fresh, beautiful eggs, sounds gorgeous.
And just give that a little bit of a toss around like that. Now, the noodles, I'll bring these back
sorry,
here.
I haven't had a chance to break them up.
Well, the 3-minute timer hasn't come around yet, so you just sort of, with the fork there, just gently pull them apart, that's it. Just gently, that's it.
Water everywhere.
Yeah,
they break apart really easily.
You don't want to splash yourself, but you don't want to pull the noodles apart either. But just give that one little toss like that. Now, this is the bit I can start adding some of the sauces in. You pass me some of that soy sauce over there.
Yeah, no problem.
Here we go. Pop that in there. Well, what I'll do is I'll start adding some liquid to it so it actually steams up a little bit as well, and we get that flavour in there. Just give that a swirl around like that, and then a little bit of the fish sauce. Be careful, the fish sauce is really strong. Now, a good tip, Zoe, is actually just pouring it into the lid here like this.
That's a good idea.
and then you know you only get your quarter of a teaspoon or a tiny little bit goes in there. There'd be nothing worse than grabbing the whole bottle and giving it a splush and you end up with what tastes like a fish sauce stir-fry.
A very over-seasoned stir-fry.
Here goes all the herbs. I've got some coriander there, some spring onion, some
Thai basil just smells fantastic.
It's got a great flavour, hasn't it?
Great smell. It almost has like a very sort of aniseedy sort of sweetness to it as well. It's beautiful.
Fantastic. Now, what I'll do with my noodles is I'll just pick them up and I've got some of the liquid there. You could drain it in a colander if you wanted to, but I'll just pick it up straight out of there. There's a couple of noodles in the bottom. I won't put them all in because otherwise I'll overload the fry pan, which is what you don't want to do.
And that is often the case when we cook. We often put too much in a pan and we almost sort of steam food a little bit too much.
There we go. I'll put that in like that. And this is the egg part. I add the egg at the end and then I'll sort of bind it together and give it a really nice look to it. What I do is I'll pour the egg around the side here like this, and with a wooden spoon, I'll just stir that into my noodles. It'll cook fairly quickly. You can see it doesn't take long to cook at all, does it? And once you've got it mixed in, it's sort of like an omelette noodle. Give it a bit of a toss like that. There we go. Stand back because it'll get up all over you. There we go. Now, if you can grab that plate there for me, Zoe, pop it onto the board there. I reckon we're ready to pull this out and get into it. Straight onto the plate there like that, and you make sure you get all the good stuff on top and all over it.
Smells good.
There we go. Pop all that on there. I sort of think I should have used a bigger plate as well. What I'll do is I'll get into that chicken because that chicken's going to be delicious. There we go.
Oh, I'm such a mushroom lover. I absolutely love these mushrooms. They taste fantastic. For me, just a tad over seasoning, but, you know, I don't really use much salt at all. I know you love it. They're really yummy.
What she's trying to say is the flavour is amazing. It tastes great. I think it's got some great things in there, and it is nice and tasty and really quick.